everybody, and welcome to the very first episode of the Conservation Corner. I am so excited to start this podcast. So let's dive right in. I'm going to talk a little bit about me, and then we'll delve into monarch butterflies. So, who am I? My name's Journey. I am 22. My pronouns are she, her. I was born in Illinois and then moved to North Carolina when I was probably about 2 to 4, and that's where I've been ever since. My favorite color is green, favorite flower is a sunflower, and my favorite animals are raccoons, cows, sea turtles, and whale sharks. My hobbies and interests: I love playing The Sims. I recently got into Red Dead 2, and I am loving it so far. I love going to Renaissance festivals and researching animals. My love, audio listeners, it's a picture of me and my boyfriend at our last Ren Fair that we went to. I dressed up as a woodland fairy and he went as a Viking, and we're just holding this massive shield. These are my animals. So Betty Boo, she is a boxer. She's about 11 years old. And then my goldfish Shere Khan, he is about to be 5 in February. We would have had him for 5 years in February. And then Dottie, we will have had her for a year in October. She is a snowflake white tree frog. I didn't know they could change colors when I first got her, but she turns this teal purpley color when she's excited to eat her food. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to talk about my major and my minor. So I am an anthropology major. Anthropology is basically the study of humans. It's not just about dinosaur bones. Anthropology has many subcategories and a wide variety of subjects to study. You can pretty much study anything with anthropology. So what I study basically is how humans have affected wildlife populations and climate change over time. And then I have a minor in sustainable development. Sustainable development gives us the knowledge and tools on how to have a more sustainable environment for generations to come, whether it's architectural, environmental, economic, or socio-political situations. My life goal: wildlife conservation. I've always been passionate about animals since I was really young, and I love them. I love everything about them, and I want to help them as much as I can. So that's why basically my major and my minor, I'm combining those two to put all of my effort into wildlife conservation. Alright, a short little intro about me, and now we're going to delve into monarch butterflies. So I'm going to grab my notes. We'll get started with that. So, monarch butterflies, I'm going to butcher these scientific names. Don't judge me too hard, I don't know Latin. Their scientific name is Danaus plexipus. They're in the Nymphalidae family. They are native to North America, but has spread to over 90 different countries, islands, and island groups. So, as caterpillars, they're about 2 inches or 5 centimeters, and then when they get to be butterflies, they have a wingspan of about 3 to 4 inches or 7 to 10 centimeters, and weigh about half a gram, which is less than a paperclip. They weigh less than a paperclip, which is insane. The males are bigger than females, and the caterpillars are toxic if eaten, which is important for later. Going to delve into their life stages and their evolution. So as larvae or eggs, they're little yellow gumdrops is how I would describe them, and they have little vertical ridges alongside them. And then caterpillars, again, about 2 inches or 5 centimeters long, and then they have black, white, and yellow stripes along their body. The chrysalis that they form kind of looks like a leaf tube. It's like a cylindrical chrysalis that looks like the color of a leaf, which I think is really cool. And then monarch butterflies, they have the striping pattern on their wings, and then at like the edge of their wings they have the white dots, and they also have white dots along their body. So audio listeners, a picture I have right here is a viceroy, which is what is typically confused for a monarch butterfly. They're the state butterfly of Kansas, but they have a different striping pattern than monarch butterflies. They still have the white dots on the body, but the white dots on the edge of the wings kind of more so looks like hearts than little, I guess, like tic-tac shaped dots that monarchs have. So the brightly colored wings that monarch butterflies have, they are used to warn predators that they are poisonous and inedible, and that's what the viceroy mimics. They have a highly evolved migration pattern of any known species of butterfly or moth. They are like the first to be discovered to have this highly evolved migration pattern, which is insane. Like, that's why they've reached over 90 different countries, is because their migration pattern is huge and varies a lot. The larvae and caterpillars only eat milkweed. That's what makes them toxic to predators. So we're gonna dive into milkweed here. So milkweed is a perennial plant, which means it's recurring, and it lives for more than 2 years. They have pink flowers, unbranched stems up to 5 feet tall. They're oblong in shape, and they have opposite leaves up to 8 inches long. So, little identifier for you, and they're best to plant in the fall. All parts of the plant are toxic to people, livestock, and pets, which we'll get into that later. So what is the relationship to monarchs and milkweed? So they are the only host plant for monarch larvae, and is crucial to their survival. Larvae eat this plant to make themselves toxic and undesirable to predators, and adult monarchs eat nectar from other flowers besides the milkweed, and that means that they are pollinators. I am very passionate about pollinators. We'll talk about pollinators a lot on this podcast. I keep forgetting I don't have another slide after that. Alrighty, so what is the issue here with monarch butterflies? Why did I choose to talk about them today? So the issue is that milkweed is known as a weed. It's in the name. So people use herbicides or weed killer on them, which is very bad for little monarch larvae and caterpillars. So ingesting herbicides can harm the larvae, lessening their population. Climate change affects their migration pattern. So warmer temperatures, especially here in America, like milkweed, first of all, isn't going to grow as much because milkweed doesn't like warm temperatures. It actually reduces milkweed growth, and then their monarch butterflies aren't going to want to travel as far to go to where the milkweed is. And also with climate change, we get more rainfall, and monarchs lay fewer or no eggs in wetter conditions. The IUCN, which is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, classifies them as endangered, which is very sad. What do monarchs do for us? Why is that sad? Why is them being endangered such a big deal? So monarchs are pollinators, as I've said before. They provide food security for us and other wildlife. They're considered a flagship species for all pollinators. And what a flagship species is, it's basically selected as an ambassador, icon, or symbol for a defined habitat, issue, campaign, or environmental cause. So basically what monarch butterflies do is they are the symbol and the educational ambassador basically for all pollinators. Like, what we know about monarch butterflies can also help us increase other pollinators' population counts. So how can we help? Like, what do we need to do to help monarch butterflies and other pollinators? Planting a pollinator garden, including milkweed. So I know I said before that it's toxic, and again, that's why people want to get rid of it. It's because it's toxic. I would put it in like a pot and put like some chicken wire or mesh around it, and just something non-harmful to other things around the plant but will deter other wildlife. And that way, like, your pets won't eat it, other wildlife doesn't eat it, and it's just there for monarch butterflies. Using natural herbicides such as vinegar or salt water, or no herbicides at all. If you have to use herbicides, just use natural ones, because they not only affect monarch butterflies, but they affect so many other wildlife species. And then reduce climate change. That sounds like a big task, and it is, but there are small ways that we can all help reduce our carbon footprint. If you're somebody who likes to go on hikes or go to a river, you could do trash cleanups, or you could even walk around in your neighborhood and pick up litter. That's just one of the more simpler ways I've found to start, helping out and reducing our climate change impact. And that's all I've got for today's episode. Next episode, we're probably going to talk about the beef industry, but if y'all have any more recommendations, feel free to leave a comment if you're on YouTube, or I think you can also comment on Spotify now, which is pretty cool. And I made the slideshow with my free slides. I highly recommend them for school projects or business presentations. They have so many templates to choose from, and they make designing a slideshow really easy. I am not sponsored, I just love them a lot. And when you think you've learned everything, you've learned nothing at all. That is basically the quote for the podcast. It's going to be at the end of every episode, because I want people to know that there's still so much we have to learn about wildlife conservation, about these animals, about all these different unique species that we have, and ways to protect them, why they're important. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and click that bell to be notified when I do the next episode, which again is probably going to be about the beef industry. But if y'all have any more recommendations or topics you want me to talk about, please feel free to let me know. Alrighty, I'll talk to you later.